With week 16 upon us, it's time to get back into the playoff picture. Look at where things are at. Who's playing who? What are we looking for as we continue to go forward? And a couple weeks ago, when we started doing this, I think we started doing this in week 13 or 14, and it looked like Colts had more of a slim chance to make the playoffs, right? We were on a little bit of a run, but at the time it looked like the Texans were in a mode where they couldn't be beat because CJ Stroud was so good. The Browns keep winning. At the time, Joe Burrow was still healthy and the Bengals were starting to go. They're still kind of going with Jake Browning now. So, a lot's happened over these last few weeks, but here we are. And we're in week 16 again, going into week 16. And after week 15, where do we sit? We're still in the 7th seed in the playoffs. And we sit there because the Bengals are in the 6th seed and they beat us head to head. So they get to stay above us. And the Browns at the 5 seed in that first wild card spot at 9-5. And there's some all important games. Okay. You look at the 8 seed, it's the Texans at 8-6, Bills at the 9 seed at 8-6. Okay. So a lot of teams still with the same records. Last week, there were, I believe, 6 teams that were 7-6 in the AFC. This week, we have 4 teams at 8-6, and the one team at 9-5 is playing one of the 8-6 teams in the Texans. So you have the Browns playing the Texans. That's an important matchup. You really look at that one. If the Texans lose, that gives us some breathing room, not only in the AFC playoff picture, but in the division. Right, we have to play the Texans again in week 18. So if the Texans lose and we're able to win, we bounce up above them. That's important. Right, but then if the Texans go on to win and the Texans go to 9-6, then you have the Browns who fall to 9-6 instead of going to 10-5, and then all of a sudden the Browns join the rest of us. They've had a game over everybody. They're maintaining with Joe Flacco, but can they continue to do it? Right, Texans probably going to get CJ Stroud back. Texans probably going to get Nico Collins back. That's going to be huge for their offense going forward. So getting those guys back, will they be able to make plays against what is maybe the best defense in the NFL with the Browns? So this is a game on Christmas Eve at 1 o'clock that I'm definitely going to be paying attention to. This is going to be massive in terms of AFC seeding, right? If the Browns start to lose ground with all these teams with the same record, then we could end up in a situation where they go from number 5 seed to out of the playoffs altogether very quickly. Okay, so now let's talk about the division, right? We've already talked about the Texans and the fact that they're playing the Browns. We went through that whole thing. But now let's talk about the Jaguars, who have to play the Buccaneers at 4:05 on Sunday, Christmas Eve. And this could be somewhere where we see the Colts get an early Christmas present, right? If the Buccaneers, who just went into Lambeau, played a great game, if they are able to beat the Jaguars, that's going to be huge. These are both Florida teams. This game is in Tampa. But you have to imagine there's going to be a good amount of Jaguars fans there. How much of a home game is it really? And this is going to be huge for both sides. Jaguars need to win to maintain their lead in the AFC South, and the Buccaneers need to win to maintain their lead in the NFC South, right? Both of those divisions are very close. So both of these teams at first place in their own divisions need to be able to maintain that. This is going to be a very important game. This is in the 4 o'clock window. One of the games I'm going to be paying very close attention to see what happens. This is going to be huge for us, especially because we play the Falcons. And the Falcons just lost to the Panthers. They're a very up and down football team. They have a pretty good defense over there. They can run the ball, but we have Grover Stewart. So I feel good about us against the Falcons. And if we're able to go in there and win that game, right, do what we're supposed to do. Winning games in December matters. If we're able to beat the Falcons in Atlanta on Christmas Eve in the 1 o'clock window, then you go straight to the 4 o'clock window. We're all going to be watching that Jaguars game to see what happens. I live down here in Florida. That one's going to be on TV for me, so I'm definitely going to be tuning into that game. And if the Jaguars lose and we win just like that, we're on top of the AFC South. That's what we're looking at. We could go from the 7 to the 4 seed this weekend, and it's something that I could see happening. Now, I could also see the Jaguars absolutely dog-walking Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. But if the Buccaneers come out, show a little bit of consistency, and are able to make plays against the Jaguars, then maybe they're able to come in with the upset. I think it's going to be a really good game, and I think, again, the Buccaneers at least have a chance to win it and help us out. And when you really look at the AFC picture as a whole, I was looking through it, the Ravens, if the Ravens were to lose out, there's a chance that we would be able to at least go above the Ravens because we beat them head-to-head, right? But they would have to lose out. We'd have to win out. Then you look at going down. The Dolphins are sitting at the 2 seed, while the Ravens and the Dolphins play each other in week 17. So one of those two teams is going to end up as the 1 seed, almost guaranteed to end up as the 1 seed. One of those two teams at this point is pretty much, if you win week 17, you're probably winning the 1 seed. So Colts have no chance at the 1 seed, but they do have a chance if we win out to continue to rise up, right? You look at the Chiefs, 9-5. It's no guarantee that the Chiefs are going to keep winning games. Now, this weekend, the Chiefs do have the Raiders. Raiders put up 0 points 1 week and then put up 63 points the next week. So you never know what you're going to get with them. Division games, unpredictable. This one's in Kansas City. You would think that the Chiefs are able to pull this one out. Well, we'll see. Again, we've said it many times. This is not the Chiefs of old. So again, with the Jaguars possibly losing this weekend, we could end up as the top seed in the AFC South. We could end up with that 4 seed. And again, what we can't do is lose, right? The Bills are playing the Chargers this week. Chargers just fired their coach. I mean, the Bills are probably going to win that game. Okay. And the Bills have the same record as us. We cannot lose this weekend to the Falcons. It can't happen. Right, if we lose to the Falcons, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs. So we have to win this week. We have to maintain our position in the playoffs. Right, the Bills play on Saturday. So if they're able to win that game, they'll bump us out of the playoffs for a day. But again, we should be able to win on Sunday. And hopefully the Buccaneers can help us out and get the Jaguars to lose a game and we get up into that 4 seed. So that's what we're looking at going into this weekend. I'd love to know your thoughts on what's happening. What do you think is going to happen this weekend of all the matchups that we talked about here? How do you see everything going? You let me know down in the comments section. And of course, don't forget to subscribe with notifications on so that you get notified when videos come out. We have daily content on this channel, so again, make sure you get notified when those videos come out. I appreciate you stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.